Hey everybody, Bill 1911 here. We're here today at Don Dinero, and the other side of their business is Miami Auction House. And they do a lot of art appraisals, they sell art, and they do really good work. So this is Guillermo, and Guillermo is the big dog around here. He's the boss.
I think my wife is a big dog.
Yeah, okay, all right. So just so you know, Guillermo is Bill in Spanish, and I'm Bill. So just remember, everybody always tries to pay their bills. So that
There you
makes
go.
us happy.
So this could be in the future the Bill and Bill show. So.
There you go. All right. So what we did was we brought some paintings in for Guillermo to look at, because I don't know anything about art, but he does. So he's the expert in the field. So what can you tell us about this
Well,
painting?
this is a decorative artwork. This is cardboard.
Uh-huh.
So this is just basically a print on cardboard,
Uh-huh.
made to look nice, to decorate a kitchen or a family room, that kind of thing. But it really doesn't have it's more like a decorative thing and less of art.
Okay. I mean, it looks like it's painted. It does have
It
brush
does. What
strokes
they
on
do, they embellish it. But if you notice,
Really?
what embellish means, they take the print and they paint over it.
Okay.
So it gives a little texture. It gives you, if you touch it, it gives you that feeling of like, but it's actually painted on top
Huh.
of the print itself.
Well, that's interesting. So I had no idea they
Yeah.
did that. So you
Beautiful piece.
So there could be multiple of the same kind.
Correct.
Okay.
It's pretty though. I mean,
Oh,
if you
beautiful.
like the looks of it, it's
Sure.
yeah, it's a good piece
So
of
it's
art.
not a unique
Yeah.
piece.
That's why when you touch it, you see
It's cardboard, right?
cardboard.
That's good to know. Now we know.
Yeah, I had no idea. That's kind of cool though.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. We brought a second one along.
Correct. I see it.
So what can you tell us about the other one?
The second one is oil on canvas.
Uh-huh.
It's actually a real painting
Uh-huh.
versus that's still art, but it's
Right.
not this kind of art.
Right.
This is oil and canvas.
Uh-huh.
It says Conrad,
Mm-hmm.
so I guess that's the artist.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the value, I will have to sit down and do some research as to who's Conrad, what does he bring, you know.
Yeah.
But it is a real painting. It's a harbor scene or kind of like a dock scene kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You see the sailing ships and some sailors either trying to unboard or or trying to board it. But anyway,
So how would you go about, like, let's say Conrad turns out to be somebody that's an important painter.
Okay.
How would you be able to verify their signature and stuff like that? How would you go about
well,
that?
you take a couple of pictures. I will consult with some experts and I will find out who's a Conrad expert. That's part of my job.
Mm-hmm.
Based on his sales, then you'll know who did well with his sales, what auction house.
Mm-hmm.
I would approach them, say, give me an idea, what do you think? I mean, I'll have an idea already going in, but they'll give me more the pulse as to the artist.
Mm-hmm.
My knowledge and my thing is more general. I going in, if Conrad is an important artist, you get an idea based on the value, you know, what sold, what this, when did it sell, that kind of stuff. But to reach these people that specialize in him, it's another, you know, it's a little bit more
Right.
unique.
Right. And so if someone, like, let's say I wanted to sell a painting through you, how would that work?
Okay, if you want to sell a painting through me, you will have to leave it. We'll do some research on it. You leave it in consignment. Once I do the research and determine or get some estimates as to what I think it can bring, then we'll talk about it. If you're happy with what we think we're gonna get, we might get a lot more, but that's, you know,
Right.
that's to be decided later on. Then we do write up a contract, and that's basically it.
Okay, so you do this like on a percentage of the
Correct.
sale price?
Normally, we take anywhere from 20 to 30% of the sale.
Mhm.
The customer always gets, you know, the big end, at least 70.
Mhm.
And if it's really a high price item, we'll take, you know, we'll even cut our fees. But it just takes, people don't realize what it takes to do the research.
Right.
You know, it's like being a detective. It's like
Mhm.
investigating a crime or something. Just, you gotta put a lot of diligence in it, a lot of hours. And determine, you know, where to put it in the best place to achieve the most success, that
Right.
kind of thing. It's almost like you become the manager of this. It's almost like this is the artist, I'm his manager, so now I want to put him in the best venue that I can to achieve the greatest success that I can. Because by doing that, it's good for you,
Right.
and it's good for
Right.
us. But this looks like something out of New England kind of thing, you know, like somewhere in the New England area. That's what inspires me, based on the. Obviously, it's a sailing ship, but they're older ships. They're not more modern
Right.
by the looks. That's just an idea based on my experience, but I could be wrong. But once we look at who's Conrad, or and we determine if he's the same Conrad that, you know, whatever, then we'll see where and what, when did he live, when did he die, when was he born, so you in what area of the country or what country he lived and whatever, you know, and that tells you a lot of where this could be. Based on, they put, in other words, this is re-put on a stretcher, because you can see the staples. That means it's relatively modern. You still see a trace of the. When you see staples, that's modern. Pop, 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 pop. Whereas you see some
Nails.
but the nails are modern because they're up and holding with the frame. It's not a new. When I say modern, I mean everything that you staples this way.
Right.
But
That
it's a
makes sense.
relatively modern piece.
It kind of looks like a purchased frame because of the way they've got the corners done with biscuits. And,
Correct.
Yeah.
It was put in a stretcher, in my opinion, first, and then somebody added this after the fact, and they did a lousy job because they kind of nailed it.
Yeah.
They could have broke the,
Broken frame.
exactly.
Can I ask a question? This piece of wood that the canvas is wrapped around, this is actually the stretcher?
Correct.
Okay.
The stretcher is the stretcher, the name says, you know, the
Stretch
stretcher
it out
piece,
across that.
because you don't want just curl up or whatever,
Right.
but they will get ruined in time. So the stretcher keeps it nice and stretched and fresh.
Does canvas shrink when they paint it?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
I'm just curious.
The problem is you got the weight of the paint
Mm-hmm.
on it, so that kind of influences, you know, and then you have to figure if they got better canvases and less cheap canvases, so there is some give and take, but when you stretch it, you know, you stretch it,
Understood.
you know, that takes care of that.
So let's talk about Don Dinero a little bit.
Okay.
You're like a pawn shop, correct?
We're like a secondhand dealer store, secondhand, we buy secondhand items.
Okay.
I specialize in art, jewelry. It's like being a doctor. You can be a doctor, but what do you specialize in?
Right.
I don't know about bikes, lawnmowers, and boats. I know about a little bit about what I know is jewelry, art, some collectibles, some antiques. I'm not an expert, but I know enough knowledge to contact an expert in that particular field. And most of the stuff, 99% of the stuff that walks through that door, you see it every day. So you kind of become an expert. You know,
Right, over time.
I don't know about guns, but if I see 10 guns every day, you start
you're
picking
gonna
up.
learn
Yeah,
more about them.
exactly.
Right.
You know, what makes a gun better than this, and what makes a gun better than that one, and who the manufacturer, is it German, is it this, is it a Glock, is it a Glock imitation? Is it made in Austria, is it made, you know, you just.
Well, see, that makes a lot of sense to me because I'm good at shooting things that are far away. I understand that. This is just completely foreign to me. I'm just totally lost on it.
It's just another subject.
Yeah.
You specialize in one, and some other people specialize, but it's just another subject. If you would have seen this instead of, let's say, where the field that you were in, you would have known a lot better. I said,
Right.
you never really become an expert in this. You become learned, but there's just so much information that you have to reach out. And thank goodness we're in an age that technology helps us to identify, to make everything a lot faster. Because
Yeah.
we didn't have computers. We had to sit in a library and go to tons of books, you know, and that kind of stuff. Well, now you just sit and Google something,
Oh, yeah,
and
it
at
comes
least
right up,
it
yeah.
points you, you know, in some direction.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, you know, with guns, the field is constantly changing. You may know a lot about guns from World War II.
Sure.
But
Exactly.
then the
There you
modern
go.
gun
Great-
comes
great
out
example.
and
Great
it's
example.
brand new. Now you gotta learn this new gun all over again. So
Oh, even the technology, they got these
It
things that I
changes,
see
yeah.
every once in a while, suppressors, and this is
Mhm.
the press. I always thought a silencer was illegal, stuff that you heard about the mafia, and now you go buy a suppressor right down the block.
Well, here's the thing. Actually, the word silencer is kind of a mistake because
Okay.
silencer was actually back in the 1920s a brand name
Oh.
of a sound suppressor. So that's what the
That-
suppressor is. Basically, it's a muffler.
Correct.
It's like, you wouldn't drive your car with no muffler because it hurts your ears.
Of course.
Same with a gun. That's why people want them on their guns. Not necessarily to commit a crime, but because it's a lot quieter. And it kind of
Well, for
drives
the
you
average
boom
guy
all
like
the
me,
time.
you hear that word suppressor or silencer,
Right.
you're thinking mob, mafia kind of thing, I don't know. Because what other, but then again, you start watching the videos for hunting, you don't want to make noise,
Well, there's another issue that's a health issue. People don't realize this about guns, but when you touch off a gun, even though you
Oh,
have
yeah,
your
yeah,
ears
yeah.
protected, your ears are not protected. The reason why is because a concussive wave comes back,
Of course, that
And-
makes a lot of sense.
hits the bones in your head, and it rattles everything, including the nerves in your ears.
Wow.
And it's subtle, you don't really notice it, but it's doing damage every time. So suppressors are actually a very good thing.
That's actually a good point. I
Yeah,
didn't
my
think
hearing
about it
is,
like that.
is impaired because of it a little bit. I mean, it's not too bad, but I get a lot of sound confusion. I can't separate sounds
Sure.
like I could when I was a kid. It just all comes in as a roaring noise.
Wow.
And that's from the damage from years and years of shooting.
Wow. Like I said, the technology is just so,
Yeah, it changes over
And
time.
every once in a while, there was a big thing a couple of years ago. I didn't even know what it's called, bump stock or something like that.
Yeah.
There was a big thing.
Mhm.
I didn't know what that. Some
It's
people-
useful for people that are missing an arm. And that's what it was originally designed for. But there are other people that wanted to take advantage of it, like the whack job that was out in Las Vegas.
Yeah, yeah.
And
What is
it's
it
tragic.
like? I guess that makes it more faster to shoot?
Yes, it just,
Because it doesn't make it automatic.
it doesn't
just makes it a lot
change, yeah, it
faster.
doesn't change the gun, it just goes back and forth pulling the trigger with the recoil of the gun, so it cycles very quickly that way.
Right.
It's still a semi-automatic rifle, so the rifle is not illegal. And the
But
bump
it just
stock,
makes it a little bit quicker.
right, the bump stock at the time wasn't illegal, and I'm pretty sure that once again, bump stocks are legal, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. I
I
think
gotta
you're
be
right.
sure
I
about
think
that.
the Supreme Court just ruled on it.
Yeah, yeah. But, if they're used for the right purpose, it's like everything else. If I took this painting and I picked it up and bashed you over the head, it'd be stupid, but
Well, it's
it would
basically
be-
a weapon.
yeah,
sure.
it would be used as a weapon then, and
Sure.
it would be a misuse, but so should we outlaw the painting? No. Because it's not the painting, it's the bad guy that's using the painting wrong.
Of course. Well, I never
So,
seen
Yeah.
two things. I never seen a bad guy go
I've
and
never
ask for
seen one hit
permission.
anybody with a painting either, so.
Exactly. I never seen a gun get up and shoot somebody by itself.
Right.
At least I never heard about it. Maybe in the movies or something. I don't know. But
Yeah, I've never seen that either.
well,
This
this is
is just a photo, but it's autographed by Ricky
Ricky
Williams.
Williams.
Yeah.
in this case.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on the history of the player.
Okay.
If the player is a Tom Brady that kept his nose clean,
Right.
he never had any issues. Record-wise, he's to me the best quarterback ever existed. Everything he touches is good.
Everything goes gold, yeah.
Ricky had a lot of issues.
Yeah.
He was a great running back,
Mm-hmm.
but unfortunately he had some issues
Right.
that kind of brings his price down.
Yeah.
His stock. Let's say because at the end of the day, the players are there's almost like a commodity.
Exactly. Exactly.
They go up and down based on their performance, based on who they are and what they did. If Ricky, let's say, gets caught beating up a woman, like somebody's height,
That's really gonna knock.
I remember one of the best examples, Jose Canseco, Cuban baseball player,
Mhm.
great.
Great ball player.
For a while, he was Mr. Midas.
Mhm.
Then he got some issues. Then he started to do this and that. And he ain't nobody wants nothing from him.
Yeah, yeah.
So Ricky's a similar situation. If you're a diehard Dolphin fan, if it is worth a
Right.
little bit more.
Right.
But other than that, you're kind of stuck in that sphere of dolphins.
Yeah, so if you were going to sell this, you would kind of be looking for somebody that doesn't have a Ricky Williams in their lineup of signed pictures.
Not necessarily, not in my case.
Okay.
If somebody walk in, I go and I do some research, what can I sell this for?
Mhm.
I'm very simple in that
Right.
aspect.
Mhm.
I say, what can I sell this for? Let's say if I could sell this for $100, why can't I offer $20, $30? Because I gotta deal with shipping and the fees and all that stuff. So I take everything down to a number. I don't get emotionally involved.
Yeah, I understand, that makes sense.
I got emotionally involved one time, I'm still paying that price, but but that's a different story.
Yeah, got it, yep.
But yeah, basically, if somebody walk in, I will check to see how much I can sell it for,
Mhm.
and based on that, obviously the condition, how much I can sell it for, it's actually authenticated, so that makes it a little bit different.
Right.
So there's a lot of forgeries,
Yeah, I'm sure.
but this is authenticated, so I would look at that number,
Mhm.
go to that company, and see what they have, and if the company is this, and this is legit, and you go to the company, based on that number that they assigned the certificate,
I see.
you'll see it online.
Is there anything like this that could go on like a painting, like on the back side of it to show, to state that this was
Yes.
a Providence, so to speak?
Well, you have two things. Just because you got a provenance of something doesn't make it right.
Okay,
I know tons of people, I deal with that every day, that their grandfather died, he left a ton of paintings, they were all fake.
yeah,
Or they were not really worth that, just because the gentleman died and he really liked that, doesn't mean that they were worth anything.
it's worth anything, right.
The best thing is either the artist gives you a certificate of
Of authenticity.
authenticity,
Understand.
and I would recommend a picture of the artist with the painting. So
Okay.
you could forge that,
Right,
and that really goes a lot. And maybe if the artist has the thumbprint or some,
Mhm.
on the certificate, that helps a ton, because that cuts out a lot of BS.
yeah, that would.
When it
take a
comes
lot
to
of-
artists that are passed away,
Mhm.
then you gotta go through who are the experts. That's what I said, that's the
Yeah.
research.
Yeah,
And is it worth doing the research? Because this might be worth $100, so is it worth doing the research? No.
yeah,
You're gonna spend more time than when it's really worth.
right.
At the end of the day, it's all about numbers.
Exactly,
You know,
exactly, I understand.
If you really like it, you like collecting pennies, God bless you. But you're collecting pennies.
Right, right.
You might find that one penny that everybody's looking for.
Yeah, it's a big search, yeah, it's
Yeah,
a lot of
exactly.
time, right, yeah.
You know.
Philatalism, stamps, same thing.
Exactly. We get a call every week. Carla, ¿cuántas veces nos llaman para la moneda a la semana? They must call us every day 2 or 3 times.
Mhm.
I got that lucky penny. Well, you and the other 3 guys that call, So we'll send them to where we like to send them Gables coins. We think they're great people.
Mhm.
They're heavy into the numismatic aspect.
Mhm.
They're experts in that field.
Right, right.
We're experts if it's silver, if it's gold, because we already have a value going in.
Mhm.
And then if it's certified or in great condition, then that enhances the price. But I want to go into a situation where there's already a set value. This is the price of gold, this is the price of silver. I already know what's at least silver or gold weight.
Mhm.
And then let's see what else would enhance the price.
All right, so do you guys do like estate sales and things
We
like
do.
that?
We do.
And so you might go to somebody's house that's got a bunch of paintings on the wall, and then how do you handle that? You go out
Well,
and look at each one?
Remember, keep in mind that your success is my success. So I have to I will go out to make that house call and give you an opinion based on my research. I will probably go out, if there's an artist that I recognize, you kind of know. If not, we'll take good pictures, we identify, and based on that, we'll give you some ideas. Why do I like to make the house calls? Because nothing gets moved, nothing gets damaged, nothing
Right.
gets lost or stolen.
Mhm.
It happens all the time. You walk in with a painting, you fall. You bump into something. That's just so. In order to avoid all these situations, I make the house call. I give you my best opinion
Mhm.
based on what I think you have. That doesn't mean we might not get a little more, because I'm very conservative.
Right. Mhm.
I'd rather give you a low number, a low real number, and you being happy by telling me, hey, I told you so.
You got more out of it.
Yeah,
Right.
then, oh, wow, this,
Right.
I'd rather
Understand.
have the happy ending.
Yeah, don't give them a false idea of what it's
Exactly,
worth.
you know, and nowadays, you don't, I always see people stroking other, you know, for lack of a better, I don't stroke, you know, I'm kind of a
Yeah.
backward hillbilly guy in that aspect.
Well, I understand that, believe
Yeah,
me.
I like to say what I mean and mean what I say, and give you what I think is my fair opinion, because if you come back in a year, that opinion will still be good.
Constantly, I look on the internet and I'll see somebody has put up a gun for sale.
Okay.
And the value they got placed on this thing is just astronomically over what the gun is worth. I mean, it's
Okay.
just not even close. So you see it in comic books, you see it in a lot of things.
Okay.
People think they're gonna get more on it because it's on the internet. Does that happen a lot
Oh, my
to
God.
you guys? Do you have people
Sorry.
come in with weird expectations about what something should be worth?
The worst part of the toughest part of what I do is popping their balloon, reality,
Mhm.
you know, back to life, like that's one back to reality.
Right.
It's hard. Everybody has a Picasso. Everybody thinks their stuff is worth a ton of money.
Mhm.
Sometimes it is worth a ton of money, but 95% or 98% of the time, it's not.
It's not, right.
So my job, like I said, is to give you my fair and honest opinion. You might not like it, but I find that 90%, maybe even more, of the people that I talk to, they come back because eventually common sense kicks in and says, wow, this, you know, Guillermo was pretty much on the money.
Right.
And usually if I make an offer on something, it's a fair offer. I just had, when I walked in, I walked in for 2 seconds and I made a purchase because we made an offer on some items, some jewelry, a couple of days ago. And they waited for me, they walked in, there was a short
They
lady.
were ready, huh?
Yeah, because they went around and she told me, hey, you know, you gave me the best offer. Why not? You get one shot, in my opinion, like Eminem said, you get one shot.
Mhm.
You take it, you give it, and you know, it is what it is.
So how do your auctions work? Are they online? What exactly?
Right now, they're mostly online because, as I mentioned before, in order to save items from getting hurt, damaged, or stolen or lost, we rather COVID changed the dynamics of everything. It just makes a lot of sense. It's cheaper to do it online.
Right.
You reach the same crowd. Most of the people that will walk into the auction anyway, they just come here because they have nothing to do. A lot of them, some do. So we cut all that out. We go strictly online, or for the most part. We sell in the same places, Live Auctioneers, Invaluable. Invaluable and Live Auctioneers is the primo places that Sotheby's and Christie's and those big auction houses sell, which means that I'm competing with all those big guys.
Okay,
They don't know if I'm a little guy in the corner or I have this huge setup.
right.
I have a little medium-sized setup without all the overhead
Right.
and all the BS, but that's all that savings I transfer to my customers. Why? When you go to Sotheby's and Christie's, they won't take anything that if it's not at least $5,000 to $10,000. Not everybody has that kind of stuff.
Right.
On top of that, they nickel and dime you to death. They'll charge you a fee for a photograph. They'll charge you a fee whether it's sold or not. They'll charge you an insurance fee. Shipping fee. By the time you're like $200, $300, $400 in the hole, and it doesn't sell, you still owe them because they made a business out of that.
Right.
We don't. We go outside. We take pictures, descriptions. There's no fee. It's free. If it sells, we get our cut. If it doesn't sell, it never left your wall.
That makes sense. That'd be a smart way to do it. You don't have to have a huge warehouse to store
Exactly.
all the art in or anything else, so that cuts your overhead.
It's
down.
basically the Amazon concept, if you want to look at that. Amazon owns everything, but they don't own anything. All Amazon is it's an internet company where you go in, you list your item, and they get a cut.
Right.
It makes sense because now they make money in the shipping, this and that, but you know, they're in the peripheral kind of thing. They're not really, they don't care about
Right.
what product you sell. As long as it's legal and legit and ethical,
They
they get a small piece in the shipping, when the sale. They make more money that way than the actual people that are selling the product.
Yeah, the guys billion-dollar company, he sure does
Sure.
make more.
Okay.
All right, so if someone has their art at their house, they've sent you the pictures, you've done all the research, and you sell the painting.
Okay.
How do they insure it and ship it?
That's
How
my
does all that
problem.
work?
Once I pay you, even if I fall in the lake, that's not your problem.
Okay.
I go, say, listen, so far $100, here's your $70, I get my 30, whatever we agree upon. I go down to the UPS store, I have a contract with them, they give me a special price. They contact the customer, the customer pays for their own shipping,
And
something
insurance.
happens. That's not your problem, that's not my problem. Our situation is making sure that if I tell them this is oil on canvas, it has to be oil on canvas.
Right.
You know, I don't want to cheat anybody. And whatever, let the chips fall where they have to fall.
That's fantastic. Guillermo, thank you so much for talking to us today. It's a fascinating field that, like I said, I know nothing about, so it's good to come in and see somebody that does know about it. One other thing I noticed, you have like cabinets and stuff like this?
We had a little bit of, when sometimes this is stuff that you see that's left over from the estate sales.
Okay.
I also, you might call me and say, I got 100 paintings, or I got a house full of stuff, my grandfather died, it happens all the time. I go up there and I say, what do you got? Well, I see what you got, I do my numbers, and I say, you know what, Bill, I'll give you $5,000 for everything in the house. Give me
Fantastic.
48 hours, don't touch anything, here's the down payment, and the rest when I take it. And we go rent a truck, we come, pick it up, make sure. But once I pay you, that's it.
Yeah, fantastic.
It is what it is.
Last question.
Sure.
How does somebody get a hold of you?
Well, by calling us at 786-484-7296. 786-484-7296. Our opinions are free. We don't charge. We'd rather you make a smart decision than lose money. And that's pretty much it. If you have a question, or you could even send pictures to that number, 786-484-7296.
Okay, so they could take pictures
Oh,
themselves?
yeah.
And-
We
okay.
run our company out of a cell phone,
Mhm.
which makes a big difference. You could just send me pictures, and I'll answer you. If it's something interesting, I'll tell you. I'll give you, whether you do business with me or not, I'll still give you an opinion.
Well, hey, I'm Bill 1911, and we're here with Guillermo at
I'm
Don
also
Dinero.
Bill.
And since everybody likes to pay their bills, let's go with that.
Let's do it, man.
We'll see you next time. I'm Bill 1911. Hey, everybody. Bill 1911 here. Hey, listen, if you're watching this video, if you're enjoying it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, okay? That's really important to us. And make sure you like us, and by all means, come to visit us at AskBill1911.com.